Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yo, what's up, Lakers fan? Welcome back to another episode of Breakfast at Tiffany's. Today's episode is about a big picture. Not panic button, no fake trade machine, fantasies. Just an honest conversation about where this team actually is and where it's trying to go. I know there are a lot of leak sources saying the Lakers are expected to explore the 3-and-D market this trade season. That really makes sense. Defense, shooting, wings. That's actually the piece we are looking for. Is on my note. What is interesting is how specific Lakers' preferences are starting to sound. The rate around the league is that they would like to target players closer in age to Luka and Austin Reaves. Not short-term rentals, not one last run guys. Something just fits both now and the future. That's the thing what I love to see, and I think it's the right direction the thing is trying to go. And that's really what this episode all about. I'm going to break it all down. About what this roster actually lacks, what the trade market really looks right now. It's about understanding the lane the Lakers are actually in and what kind of moves make sense right now. Alright, get ready. Let's get into this one. So let's start with the roster. We are 25 games in, and the Lakers are 18-7 right now, third in the West. It looks pretty good on the paper. I'm pretty sure no one here is going to complain about the record. But once you actually watch the games and look at who we have been playing, you start to see where the issues are coming from. You start to know what I'm trying to talk. The fact is that we didn't really get hit with a stretch of leisure over 500 teams until December. And now, here we are. The same weakness keep popping up over and over again and again, night and night. And honestly, the trade market opening right now here couldn't be a better timing because the tab is basically screaming what the team needs. And yes, let's start with the defense because this is honestly the largest one, the biggest one. JJ Redick definitely knows it, so he met with LeBron and Luka yesterday and straight up asked for more defensive effort. And when asked about this one in the interview, Luka took the accountability publicly, which I respect. But even with all that, the numbers still are not pretty. The Lakers are 20th in defensive rating right now, 23rd in opponent fast break points, 28th in opponent 3-point percentage. That's not a contender defense, and it gets worse when you zoom in. We really give up the second highest 3-point percentage in the league on wide open looks, 42.5%. Only Brooklyn is worse. I mean, it's kinda embarrassing to say Brooklyn is a tanking team. They are just trying to win a lottery pick, but we are not. We are the Lakers. So that tells you everything you need to know. These are not tough shots. These are clean, rhythm jumpers because rotations are late or just not there. Yeah, that's the classic Lakers, right? And this ties directly into another issue I've been talking about all season, athleticism. The roster struggles with speed, plain and simple. Teams with fast guards, downhill wings, and guys who just keep moving give the Lakers real problems. Transition defense breaks down. It's awful. Closeouts are slow. One missed rotation turns into a wide open three, and suddenly the whole possession just like snowballs, and it just falls badly. And the issue we have been talking about for years, the depth. Honestly, this one isn't shocking anymore. The Lakers have the lowest scoring bench in the league. 24.7 points per game. That's less. Meanwhile, Memphis is out here getting 48 points a night from their bench. That gap is insane. I'm just trying to give you a picture if you don't know what a league bench look like. And here just shows how bad our bench are. And yeah, but what stood out here is the fact that the Lakers starters are actually fire. They lead the league with 93 points per game. Yeah, so now you have got a monster starting unit, and then the moment they sit, everything gets shaky. Leads shrink fast, energy drops, and suddenly every game feels way closer than it should. So yeah, defense, athleticism, depth. These are not nitpicks. These are real roster problems. And how the Lakers attack them at the daylight is going to tell us exactly how serious they are about this season. Okay, so now you guys have a picture about what this team actually lacks, what we need to improve. So let's talk about the trade market here. And this is where things get a little less fun and a little more reality check. Because when people say the Lakers need to make a move, the first thing flash into my mind is always like, so yeah, with what? By NBA rules right now, the Lakers can only offer one future first round pick in a trade. It's either the 2031 or the 2032. That's it. The only thing we have is a first round pick at this moment. But once the new league year starts this summer, things open up a little bit different. We can offer 2031 and 2033 first rounders, plus the player we select in the 2026 draft class. Also have some flexibility with pick swaps in 2028, 2030, and 2032. So yes, there are going to be a lot of tools and assets, but none of them are immediate game changers right now. And outside of future picks, let's be honest, the Lakers don't have a ton of tradable assets. That's where the uncomfortable part of the conversation comes in, right? Because unless the front office is willing to put Austin Reaves on the table, the asset cupboard is pretty thin. And I am pretty sure they are not willing to do that unless they don't want to still alive in Los Angeles. We are not going to forgive them. you see what Nico Harrison ends up in. So yes. Before any more panics here, I'm not saying they should trade Austin. In fact, I don't think they want to. He's arguably playing at a superstar level right now. Oh, by the way, the All-Star voting just started yesterday. So everyone just make sure you vote for Austin today, tomorrow, and every day in the future. I already did. Okay. So yes, Austin has been elite. He's been holding this team together through some ugly stretch, like when Luka and LeBron was injured. But this is just a reality of how the league views assets. Austin is also expected to opt out of his contract this summer and hit free agency. He deserves more. He deserves a real bag. So most people around the league still expect him to stay in LA. Same. I do the same. And he wants to stay. But from a trade perspective, that uncertainty matters. Teams factor that in. It affects leverage, right? So when fans throw out like go get this guy or just trade for that wing, we need a 3D, we need somebody to play defense. It's important to understand that the Lakers are not walking into the market with a suitcase full of assets. Basically, what we have is just very limited picks, some swaps, and very few players that actually want to move. That's why the deadline feels less about a big swing and more about surgical move, tweaks, role players, just guys who fit next to Luka and Austin without blowing up the future. And that's where the conversation really shifts, right? Because the question is not just who can we get right now, it's how much are we willing to sacrifice for a short-term fix versus keeping the bigger picture intact. And that leads perfectly into the next part of this. Because as much as the trade deadline matters, the real chessboard move might actually be 2026. This is where I think a lot of fans need to zoom out for a second. Because as loud as the trade season is, 2026 is the real pivot point for the Lakers. So, look at contrast. After this season, a lot of money comes off the books. We have got expiring deals with Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, Jason Hayes, and yeah, LeBron James comes in. And we've got player options with Austin Reaves, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart. These three guys, personally, I think they will all opt out. But that's not the issue we are trying to discuss here. So, yes, that's where things get interesting. Because those decisions are not just about who stays, they directly affect cap space, leverage, and timing. And now look, we already locked in, or clearly part of the plan in the future is Luka Doncic, Jared Vanderbilt. Yes, still got 2 years with 1 year player options. And Jack LaRavia, the last year. Dalton Cadet, we already picked up his team options for the future 2 years. Bronny James and Abdul Thiero, both are on the rookie contracts. That's a young, comfortable core around a 26-year-old superstar. That matters. And then there's LeBron, right? Whether he retires, leaves, or transitions into whatever his next chapter looks like. The reality is this. If LeBron is no longer on the roster, the Lakers suddenly open up massive cap space. $50 million. That's a lot of money. We can definitely use that cap space and roster spots to do some big deal. Not role player money, real asset money. That's when Rob Pelinka can actually shop in a different role, right? So when people ask, why are not the Lakers pushing all their chips in right now? This is the reason. The front office clearly sees a future where the big move is not this deadline, it's next summer. Instead of chasing a headline-worthy trade that flips the Western Conference overnight, the Lakers are far more likely to make smaller trades right now. In my opinion, just face a leak, patch a hole, address one specific weakness. So, nothing flashy, nothing reckless, because the real swing, the one that reshapes the roster around Luka long term, is lined up for 2026 in the summer. Just mark my word. And once you say it that way, the patience starts to make a little more sense, right? So, let's talk about the name everyone's been hearing a lot recently. Because yes, Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I wish I say it right, but it's fine. He's not coming here in a month or two. I mean, if we really want him, he will come next summer, but not right now. Okay, so the fact is that the Bucks are sitting at 11 and 16, and the roster clearly is not built to win a title anymore. So it's fair to say Giannis is at a crossroads. Let's be clear, this is not about decline. Even at 31, with 12 seasons on his body, he is still very much the guy, the MVP candidate. He's putting up 28.9 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists per night. Still blowing up defenders with that jab step and finishing above the ring. Still switching across positions and wrecking game plans defensively. Still that MVP level player. No debate. But here's where reality kicks in. If the Bucks really make the decision, they really pick up the phone to call Rob, they are not just doing it for vibes. Any team that wants Giannis has to empty the wallet, picks, young players, real assets. And that's where the Lakers hit a wall here. As I just mentioned a few minutes ago, the Lakers don't have the assets to give this down without including Austin Reaves. There's no way around it. And Nico Harrison doesn't work for Milwaukee. The Bucks are absolutely asking for Austin in that package. If they are losing Giannis and heading into a rebuild, Austin makes so much sense in the world. He's proven he can carry stretch without Luka and LeBron. He's shown he's a real option on the team. That's exactly the kind of player you build around when you reset. But then think about what the Lakers would be giving up. You are not just losing Austin, you are probably losing multiple role players and losing the depth, something the team already struggles with. And we have seen that movie before, right? Here's the thing. Luka is the future. He's under contract through at least 2028. And honestly, I'm confident he's here for long term. Retire 77 in LA is something I can promise. He loves the city and we love him more. And just as importantly, he loves playing with Austin. So yeah, Luka is 26, Austin is 27. Same timeline, same competitive window. And even though we haven't fully unlocked that duo yet on the floor, everyone knows the ceiling is ridiculous. That backer has the potential to be the most powerful in the league, like killing. So, my question here is not, is Giannis great? Of course he is. And nothing short here to have two MVP candidates on the court together. They are killing. That must be a disaster for the team. But my question here is, would Giannis be willing to be the second option next to Luka? Does his play style actually fit with Luka in real life, not just on paper? It's not a game like fantasy. We just put the numbers together. It's about the chemistry, about the play style. And is it worth sacrificing a young Kerr we finally have after surviving the dark Westbrook eras? Because chemistry is not just a paper. We have lived through the consequence of forcing stars together without feet. And honestly, it's wild how far this team has come. From one of the oldest rosters in the league, like the Clippers right now, to a group where most of the rotation is under 30. We only have LeBron is 40 and going on 41, and Smart is 31. Kleber is 33. And the rest of the team is young, growing on the same timeline. And that's why I am not betting on blowing it all up. Especially when you factor Giannis' injury history and the age gap. He's 4 years older than Austin, who's younger, healthier, and still growing, ascending. He's an all-star right now. Look at his growth. It's amazing. One more thing that matters a lot here is that Giannis has a 2027-28 player option. And there's a very real opportunity he opts out and his free agency. Which brings me to how I read the Lakers' mindset. I think the Lakers are protecting that 2026 pick for a reason. Not necessarily just for Giannis, but for whoever becomes available when the timing is right. I mean, if Giannis wants LA, if Luka wants Giannis, if the stars align. But right now, I don't think it's happening. Not this season, not at this trade deadline. I'm totally okay with that. Because forcing a move too early is how you lose the future. You just spend years rebuilding, right? And I have to explain a little bit about how I regard the future Lakers picks a little bit here. So, for a long time, Lakers' future picks were viewed as gold around the league. Not because the Lakers were bad, but because of a lot of uncertainty here. You never really knew when the bottom might fall out. If LeBron aged out, if stars left, if ownership got messy, suddenly that pick just drop, right? And that pick might just turn into a lottery ticket. But I don't think it's a case anymore. With Luka slightly in tension, and especially since Mark Water took over as a majority owner, a lot of people in the league just don't carry the same mystery that they used to, and it makes sense. Mark Water has already shown with the Dodgers that he knows how to run a franchise. He spends, yes, he's generous. He hires smart people, and he doesn't let things spiral. So around the league, the belief is that even if things go sideways at some point, the Lakers are not going to completely fall apart under his ownership. And we have Luka Doncic. He wants to win now. So that's great for us as fans, right? It's very encouraging for a Lakers fan to live in this era. But from a trade market standpoint, it lowers the ceiling on what those picks can bring back. So when people say, just throw in a future first, it's not just simple anymore. That future first round is not viewed as a potential franchise-altering asset. It's somehow viewed as a late pick from a team that will probably still be good, still be relevant, and still be a contender. So, yes, which circles us right back to the big picture. The Lakers are not desperate. The Lakers are not collapsing. They are not going to mortgage everything just to win a headline in February. That's why the moves feels patient. That's why the front office is cautious. And that's why, whether fans like it or not, this season is as much about positioning as it is about pushing all the chips in. But the window is not closed. It's being managed, just carefully. So guys, just be patient. Yeah, but before we close this out, I've got to hit something on our front office. They finally made something I need to give them their flowers. They finally assigned Dalton Connect to the South Bay Lakers. And honestly, I don't know why it took this long, but I'm glad it finally happened. If he's not going to get meaningful minutes in JJ's rotation, the worst thing is to sit on the bench, play 2 garbage time minutes every few games, and slowly lose confidence. It's much better to see him shine in South Bay, getting real minutes. And yet, it happened. He just made his G League debut against the San Diego Clippers. He put on a show, scoring 30 points, grabbing 5 rebounds, dishing out 2 assists, adding 2 steals and no block, shooting 3 for 6 from 3, and hitting a perfect 59% from the field. But the stats only tell a part of the story. Beyond his catch and shoot jumpers, which are his calling card, he showed he can actually create his own shot. Finish with a one-hand dunk off the drive, pulling up for a 3 off the dribble, hitting a deep 3 from the top of the key after crossing half court, which is amazing. And I'm just happy to see he just got his confidence back. That's the most important part. So here's the thing. Connect is a player who needs the ball and consistent playing time. But sadly, the fact is that playing alongside Luka, Austin, and LeBron, his role has been compressed into simply a catch-and-shoot shooter. He did well in the first half of last season, but after the trade, his confidence just dipped. He became hesitant and unstable. So, I love to see that Sen connect Adu and Bronny down to South Bay with the two-way guys. They got meaningful minutes, real rips, and yeah, they have room to make mistakes and a chance to build confidence. Nick Smith Jr. and Chris Malone each dropped 20 points in the same game. I love to see that, and that's the place where they can just build a confidence and just try to shoot the ball, touch the ball, and get ready whenever they might be called back to the Lakers, right, to help the team. So this is not giving up on our young talent. It's actually investing in this. Let them play, let them fall, let them grow. When the Lakers need them down the line, you want the players to get ready and remember how to shoot. So just happy to see things all going out to the right way. And one thing very important here, I just want to take a second to appreciate how wholesome the Lakers team feels right now, because the chemistry is so wholesome. It's not just about the basketball. Look how Doncic surprised the entire Lakers squad, players, coaching staff, front office, and even the broadcast crew with 103 e-bikes. Is just another example of how he is as a leader. That's not a small gesture. It's generous. It's a huge bag. That's someone who genuinely cares about the team, cares about the people around him, the culture he's helped him to build, and the community he's now a part of. And this is not new from Luka. From the moment he just got traded to LA, he showed up the right way, donating $500,000 to the community to support families affected by the LA wildfires. He didn't have to do that, but he wanted to. Then you have got him organized team bonding moments like the Porsche event, and now this one. Leadership is not always loud. It's just showing people you've got their back like this. And that's why LA already loves him so much. One more thing that's exciting for me is that DeAndre Ayton, his family showing up as well. Ayton's mom cooking the best Christmas team meal for everyone. That's the family power. That's the warmth. That's the culture. You don't get that with things that are disconnect or just going through the motions. Nothing disrespectful, but I didn't see it happen before when he played in the Blazers or in the Phoenix. We get that when a locker room actually likes each other, when there's trust, when guys are bought in beyond the scoreboard. So yeah, the season is not perfect. The rotations are not perfect. The roster is not finished. But the chemistry, the vibes, that just feels real. And honestly, that matters more than people think. That's it for today's episode. How do you like it? If you enjoy the Lakers, enjoy the breakdown, make sure you like my show, make sure you subscribe, and leave a comment please. I will read all of them with the biggest smile. And we'll keep riding this wild season together. Okay? You know, I always wish you have a great day. So yes, take care. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.